that burns incessantly within the heart, and that it is something otherworldly. It's something other than this physical body. It's the very source itself that is coming through, in through, and as us. And I love the idea that this is not only an outbreak of love, but an outbreak of all goodness that compels us to engage with life and to do the things that ought to be done by us. So today, my intention is to focus on this idea of fanning the flames of the heart. Fanning the flames of the heart. And so how do we do that? And we had some indications from last week from that beautiful quote by Meister Eckhart. It came from the 1200s. And what I have found in reading more about him is he was influenced, even though he was a Catholic priest, he was influenced by the Sufis. You know, the Muslims and the Sufis were in Europe back at that time. And he had come into contact with them. And for any of you who don't know anything about the Sufis, great mystics. They were all about direct experience of the divine. And they would do their whirling. You've seen probably heard the whirling dervishes, so that they could get in a state of ecstasy and deep contact with the divine within. And they talked often about, it's in the poetry of Hafiz and Rumi, about this flame of the heart, this beautiful flame of the heart. And so the thing that the Sufis and the Christian mystics and the other mystics all have in common is this idea of direct experience of the divine, not just talking about God, but feeling it. And so Meister Eckhart said last week that awe is the beginning of wisdom. Well, I think awe is the beginning of that activation of the heart, the flame of the heart. I don't know about you, but when I contemplate the immensity of our universe, when I contemplate the diversity of life just in this room, much less on the entire planet and throughout the universe, when I contemplate the idea that I'm awake and aware and I can notice and I can speak, and as my vocal coach said to me, he said, have you ever thought about what goes into producing a sound with your voice that matches what the piano plays, or matches or even to memorize it, and just the placement in the throat, the body working together, the mind, the vocal cords, all of it working together just to produce a tone. And this is just one of many, many, many amazing things that we run across every day. And so I'm asking all of you to join me, and let's wake up to this. Let's not just go around, same old kind of attitude, but really wake up to the glory and the magnificence and the beauty that surrounds us, that's in ourselves. So this idea of being in awe and wonder at life itself, I believe, is the beginning of the real true opening of our hearts and the fanning of that flame of the heart, so that we can then move forward and as sizzle, so we can sizzle and have this mighty faith and do the things that we are guided to do. He says that we ought to do. But I see that the things that we are guided to do in our lives, sharing our gifts and talents, and discovering that we are much more than we think we are. We are beings of unlimited potential and unlimited possibility. I love what Rumi says. In fact, this idea of, Meister Eckhart talks about it, the Sufis talk about this, tasting God. Is that powerful or not?
Who wants to taste God? That means we're using all of the senses. We can feel, experience God on all levels. Tasting God is what they talk about. Direct experience. Rumi, to punctuate who we are, says this, that we are not the drop in the ocean, we are the entire ocean in the drop. We are the entire ocean. The divine lives, moves, and has its being in us. And because it is inseparable, we are connected with the entire universal mind of God. How else could the brilliance come through that we see in humankind? The brilliance in terms of art, the brilliance in terms of great knowledge, discovery, invention, even the ability to look out into the far reaches of the universe. We are the entire ocean in the drop. So I want you to repeat after me. I am the entire ocean in the drop, and then really feel it. I am the entire ocean in the drop. Divine power flows through me.
Divine power flows through me.
Let's look at it from another angle. That's the ocean. Let's think of the sun. How about this? I am a point of light of the eternal sun. I am a point of light of the eternal sun. The eternal sun meaning the divine, the infinite invisible, the one light. And so let's say this. The spark of my soul burns brightly.
The spark of my soul burns brightly.
Yes. And then the universal creator. I love this idea. So I'm a child of the universal creator.
I'm a child of the universal creator.
So I am a co-creator of the universe.
So I am a co-creator of the universe.
All right. So here are some really powerful questions to ask ourselves. Are we tasting the divine on a regular basis? Are we sizzling with the power of spirit that shows up as energy and creativity and vitality and joy and enthusiasm? Are we experiencing the flow of God's blessings in our lives? Are we experiencing our heart's desire? Are we living, are we passionate about living on purpose, sharing our gifts, those gifts that we came here to share? So you answer that for yourself. And if you have a little question, you say, well, I'm not sure, I don't know. Well, here New Thought leader Reverend Johnny Coleman puts it this way. She says, if you know it, you show it. And she says, so if you don't show it, then honey, you don't really know it. So we show it. So how do we show it? You know, we have so many beautiful methods to tap into this divine presence. We have this awareness now of the importance of awe and wonder. And we cultivate that awe and wonder as we read sacred texts. And I love reading. Right now, I'm really into reading about the mystics. And right now, Meister Eckhart and the Sufis and people like Teilhard de Chardin, these people from all the different traditions that lived from this place of the mystic heart, this being on fire with the spirit, being connected to that awareness, tasting the divine. So one thing that I love, and by the way, Jesus is a mystic. Jesus is one of those beings. Jesus, Meister Eckhart, Rumi, Ernest Holmes. I could go on and on. There are quite a few of these beautiful beings that do amazing things on the planet. So Ernest Holmes wrote, "The eternal has placed itself at the center of our being. This discovery is the greatest discovery of all ages." It's something that will prevent us from looking outside of ourselves once and for all and realizing it's all about turning within. listening, following the guidance, cultivating that sense of connection and wholeness and oneness that's already present. And Ralph Waldo Emerson, one of the founders of New Thought, said there is no planet, sun, or star could hold you if you knew but what you are. There is no planet, sun, or star that could hold you if you knew but what you are. What I'm knowing in this very moment, that with me bringing all of this to your attention, that there is something being activated in you this very moment as you contemplate the magnificence of your own life and the magnificence of life all around you and the beings that are in this room with you. But not realizing who we are and the power that's within us, we tend to wish we could be like someone else. So if you wish you could be like someone else or have what someone else has, I have a little story for you. It's the story of the stonecutter. It comes from Japanese lore. And so it goes like this. There once was a stonecutter who was dissatisfied with his life. He felt worthless and powerless. One day he passed a wealthy merchant's house, and through the open gateway, he saw fine possessions. How powerful that merchant must be, he said. I wish that I could be a merchant. And presto changeo, to his surprise, he became a merchant, enjoying all of the luxury and power that he had ever dreamed of, actually more than it. But soon a high official passed by, carried in a sedan chair, accompanied by attendants and escorted by soldiers beating gongs. Everyone had to bow down before him. And so, of course, what does he do? He says, how powerful that leader is. I wish I could be that high official. Then he became the high official and was carried everywhere in his sedan chair, the most powerful man around. So then it was a hot summer day. The sun was beating down upon him. Got very uncomfortable. And then again, he started thinking about it. He said, wow, I'd like to be the sun. Why not be the sun? So, the sun seems more powerful than this official, so he became the sun. Then suddenly, a black cloud moved between the earth and the sun. And he could no longer shine his light down on the earth below. How powerful that storm cloud is. I wish I could be like the cloud. Are we seeing what's going on here? So he became the cloud, covering up the sun wherever he went. But then he felt himself being pushed away. And it was the wind. How powerful it is, he thought. I wish I could be the wind. And so he became the wind, blowing tiles off the roof. Sounds like the local the Matthew, right? The hurricane. Oh. Blowing tiles off the roofs of houses, uprooting trees, showing his immense power wherever he went. But after a while, the stonecutter turned wind, ran up against something that could not move. It was a huge, towering stone. How powerful that stone is. I wish I could be a stone. Then he became the stone, more powerful than anything else on earth. But as he stood there, he heard the sound of a hammer pounding a chisel into the solid rock, and he felt himself being changed. What could be more powerful than I, the stone, he thought. Ah, the stone cutter. Full circle. So all the power, the point of this is all the power that there is already within us. We need look no farther than ourselves. And so this is about truly owning our own magnificence and our particular gifts and talents that we bring. Ernest Holmes says, the higher, and I'm going to put this in first person, the higher my sense of truth, the greater will be my realization of the uniqueness of my individual character and personality. My real self is the place where God comes to a point of individualized and personified expression. I'm going to invite you to join me in this because this is really powerful. So just repeat after me and I'll do it in parts. The higher my sense of truth, the greater will be my realization of my uniqueness. My individual character, and my personality. My real self, this is with a capital S, my real self is the place where God comes to a point of individualized and personified expression. Let's breathe that in. So there was a foxtrot cartoon that illustrates this beautifully. Mom says to her genius son, Jason, what are you doing? Jason says, building a model rocket, which I will fill with salt and shoot into a cloud, thus seeding it for rain. Exasperated, Mom says, I asked you to water the lawn. And he said, you water it your way, and I'll water it my way. The use of talent, right? Uniqueness. So here's what I'd like us to do. I'd like us to experience that in this moment. So think of one talent, gift, or skill that you have. It may be something that you've nurtured or not nurtured. So just think of one, or something you long to do, your heart longs to do. Everybody have it? Okay. Now think of a way that you could use this talent or gift or skill to bring more of God's love and light into the world. Okay. Now I'd like you to find someone to pair up with, and I would like you to act as if. Does everybody know what act as if means? It means that pretend that you have already accomplished that, and with great joy and excitement, you are telling the person next to you how you are sharing that gift and talent and the impact that it's having on those around you, on humankind, on the planet, whatever it might be. So you're already doing it. So it's present tense. This is what I'm doing. I'm so excited. I'm so grateful. You got the idea? Okay, we've done this before. It's a good practice, though, of fanning the flames of the heart with passion. So does everybody have somebody? Look around, see if you can find somebody to pair up with. Okay. And could somebody pair up with Dwayne? Okay, there's 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. Does everybody have a partner? Okay, so I'm going to give you 30 seconds. Everybody ready? So decide who's the first person. Okay, everybody know who the first person is? Okay, I'm going to ring it, and when it's done, then I'll say switch. And I want you to just keep going until I say stop. Begin. No, you're doing it now. You're doing it now. You're doing it now, everybody. I heard that. It's present tense. I'm already doing it. Okay, person number 2. So next person. Keep going until I say stop, until I hit the bell. It's already happening, whatever it is that I choose to do. How was that? It's a great practice. If you have somebody that you can partner with and do that daily, it will really truly change your life because you're living in the vibration of it already happening. We've learned that living in this vibration of already happening is what we talk about when we do spiritual mind treatment. And we were talking about not only praying about but being. Praying rain. You remember the praying rain that we talked about? Yes. So it's praying rain. It's praying our lives as already happening now. This attunes us with the creative power of the universe. And when we do this, amazing things take place. We do amazing things, amazing things. And we're living from that God self too, instead of the fear and the worry and the doubt of the human self. So it's a very powerful way to live. I'd like to share with you an example for our own spiritual community of a beautiful demonstration of this that's starting this month. We have had on the prayer list for some time now prayers about the abundant flow of financial well-being of the spiritual community. And I know Candace and I have been doing this for quite a while. And I suddenly one day I got a message that was left on the Center for Joyful Living phone. And it was from our landlord, actually the landlord's son, John Wisman. I still have it there. I've saved it just to remind myself it's still there. And I said, Dan, should I play it? And he said, no, so I'll just tell you about it. So the message went like this. We would like to offer, we know your lease is coming up for renewal, and you've been such good tenants. We would like to offer you a $5,000 discount basically this year, and it's like a little bit less next year and after that. But anyway, in the next 3 years, it's a total of about $14,000 in savings for our spiritual community. We did not ask for it. It came through the message, it came through, this answer came through our landlord and was delivered to us. So take a breath. That starts this month. Our new lease begins this month. And this is the way miraculous things happen, is we continue to pray about things as if they're already happening. We continue to talk about our life as already being fulfilled, that we are already living our heart's desire. This is how this unfolds. And so the more you can do this, the more you are fanning the flames of your heart. How many of you noticed that when you were sharing your dream has already manifested, your heart, you could feel your heart expand? I know that's what happens to me. I actually get hot when I'm praying, when I'm meditating, when I'm focusing on the vision that is presented to me, and amazing things happen. So my friends, my beloved friends that we've been together now for quite some time, most of us, let's give ourselves the gift of acting as if, of speaking as if on a regular basis. How many are up for that? And find yourself a partner that you can do that with daily, okay? Okay, much love to all of you, and so it is. Namaste.